While analog gear will forever be at the heart of my mastering process, with the release of Fabfilter's new ProQ 4, I thought I'd share my thoughts on how digital tools can really help and complement the analog mastering process. So let's go. So ProQ 4 has come out this week. I've downloaded it, I've used it in some mastering projects. I really like it. I like the new features, they're really handy, and I think for me, it's a bit too soon to tell, but I think for me, it's actually going to save me a good bit of time. The new spectral processing is really good, and that's going to save me opening Soothe in a lot of instances, which I do use from time to time. And although I don't rely heavily on these kind of resonance suppression EQs, I'd rather do it manually in a lot of cases. They can be really handy, especially when they've got variable attack and release times. So my first real point about this whole topic or debate is about precision. These digital tools have precision or are precise in ways analog gear cannot even get close to. So it's not a case of one being better than the other, but it's a case of one tool being the best tool for a specific job. If we need to do really narrow EQ cuts or boosts, or if we need to suppress very specific resonances, then the digital tools can outperform the analog gear, hands down. Analog gear doesn't do that, and really it's not meant for that. So these digital tools are essential, and especially with the new spectral processing in Q4, I found that really handy already. After only having used it for a week, it's helped me tame some resonances and some attack of transients in things like horns, trumpets, brass, things that have a real powerful transient energy. We can just kind of control the attack and control the kind of those bursts and the harshness of those. And then what that allows me to do is then still add to that area with my analog EQs, my analog outboard. So we can kind of reduce parts of that, the harsh parts or the more powerful parts. So we're not going to get any distortion, or we're not going to get anything that's really piercing or harsh. But then we can use the analog stuff after we've done that to do a broader EQ boost to make sure we're not taking away too much of that energy, or we're not making that area too dull or anything like that. So using the digital EQs in conjunction with the analog stuff can be a really great way to balance out control and adding stuff without being too harsh or sterile, but still maintaining that broad tonal kind of colour and warmth. So my second point is about creativity and workflow. Being able to use these digital tools that have this really precise processing can help us get rid of things we don't want, help us tame anything that could be problematic really nice and quickly, so that then we can focus on the musicality and the creativity and things like tone and character, trying to add warmth or trying to process the dynamics with a nice gluey compressor or something like that. And I think it's important to be able to work fairly quickly. While we don't want to rush anything that we're doing, we want to be able to get the sound that we kind of want to hear. We want to be able to get that out quite quickly. So having super precise digital plugins alongside broader, more colourful outboard gear can really help us tidy things up and then start adding character to a mix or master nice and quickly. And it really helps us stay in that kind of creative zone, especially if we get into a bit of a flow state and we're really enjoying the music and stuff like that. And my third and final thought or point is about really understanding each tool and what it's for and understanding why you're using it and what the intention is. I think a lot of the time people are quite quick to just open up a load of plugins and play around and start kind of just adding or subtracting stuff without really having a clear intention. And that can be true with analog gear as well. Sometimes with my interns in here, they want to use every single piece of gear and just add. And if I ask, what's the intention? Why are you using that? A lot of them get a bit stuck and just go, I don't know. I thought I just wanted to use it, see if it sounded good. So being intentional about which tool you're using and why you're using it, what's the purpose of it, again, is going to improve the overall sound and it's going to speed up your workflow. And I think that's where we get our best results, when we can just reach for the right tool for the right job and do that part and move on and do the next thing and then complete the kind of whole project without going down too many rabbit holes or going off in too many different directions. So personally for me, I use the digital tools for precision, for subtractive things and for problem solving. And that's where I start. That's where I want to start. And then once I've got those things out of the way, I move out to my analog outboard where I can be a bit more creative, add some character. And I typically use my analog outboard for more additive stuff, for adding EQ, compression, gain, tone, warmth, all those fun words. And I think the key really is knowing which tool you're using for which job and how all those different tools can work together to get the very best sound that they can. And that kind of sums up my really whole thoughts on this issue, and that is using the right tool for the right job. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. We've had some great discussion in the comments in previous videos, and some of you guys are clearly very talented and very experienced engineers. It's great reading your comments and your thoughts and input on this. So yeah, let me know what you think. Have you tried Q4 yet? What do you think of the spectral thing and the character stuff? I'd love to know how you use it in your workflow and how important you think these tools are, and whether you prefer one or the other, whether you kind of share my view of everything working together nicely, or whether you think analog gear is overpriced and you should just stay in the box. Yeah, love to hear all your different opinions on that. This is the last video before I stop working for Christmas, so I hope you all have a really nice break. I hope you get some rest, eat some good food, and spend some time with the people you love. As always, I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time.